Hello everybody and welcome to the YouTube channel of Lisa Designs. Today I'm going to show you how to do my latest design, which is this little purse wallet. It's very simple, beginner friendly, and uses a 4x4 hoop. I've made this one in tweed so far, in tweed and leatherette, in leatherette and fur. There, it's lovely, this one. And I've also made it in fabric, so today I'm going to make it in just leatherette. I've already got my pieces cut, so we're going to use one piece which is, I'm going to say 8x4, so it's going to be folded, one piece which is 4x4, and another piece which is also 4x4. So two of the pieces are going to need lining, and I've already got some lining already cut. You can use any fabric. And you're also going to need a little piece like this. I'm going to write all the measurements in the PDF so that you've got everything on hand. And this design is not just a great design, but it also uses the magnetic closures. Now the magnetic closures are going to be on the lining of the design, so you won't be able to see the back of the magnet because it's actually in the lining of it. And on the back you're going to be adding more fingers sometimes, you're going to be adding this, and so you're going to be able to hang it like that. Perfect size for a little credit card, a gift card or something. They fit in there. They fit in there fine, look, and they go down. So yeah, I'm going to show you how to make this design today and show you how easy it is. So bear with me. This is the first time that I've recorded in this studio because we've actually moved properties now. And so yeah, I'm going to take you over and behind me, and you're going to watch how we make it. So it's really simple. Bring the there we go. Right, let's put that down so that you can see. A bit closer, I think. Sorry about all of that. You hear background noise of a saw. It's my husband. So first of all, you've got three parts of this design. You've got the front flap, which you need to be done first. Then we've got this front panel, which needs to be done second, and then these two are added to this one. And it's absolutely stunning. I love this design. So I am going to use both the same bobbin to top thread in the whole of the design. So I've got a full bobbin ready. I'm using pre-cut. This is just medium weight stabiliser. You can use water soluble stabiliser if you want to, but I currently don't have any, so I'll be using a lighter on the edges to get rid of the fluff. And my embroidery machine is a Brother Innovis V5, so nothing special, just to show you. Right, so I'm going to start number one. Number one, it will give you the placement for this part. I forgot to mention that the flap also has a placement for wadding. I'm using felt because that's what I've got. I haven't got any wadding, but it's just to make this a little bit more sturdy. So we're going to stitch that down now. Just come out. next part of the design is the lining of the flap, and we're going to add the magnetic, this part, the closure. So we need to remove all of this excess first. So I'll do that now. These are duck bill scissors, and they're great. I probably use them around the wrong way, but they work for me this way. So that's all removed. Then we put, let me just move that down. Then we put the lining on the back of this, like so. I'm not going to tape it because I can see it through my stabiliser. And we're going to stitch that down, and it'll also give me a placement to be able to put the magnetic closure. You're going to need a craft knife now. And you will be adding this part to the flap. So as you can see, you've got your placement here. This part here needs to be on there, so make sure that the centre of the closure goes over that hole there. So you can give yourself a little guide by pushing it down there. You can see my lines. I'm just going to use my craft knife, move your fingers out of the way, put two little holes there, poke that through there like so. Actually I'm going to move that because then little bits like to show through, so move that, push that down there like that, poke it through, and then add the back in like so, and that's it. That's how you add that part there. And then you're going to put the top, which is the piece on the top flap. I'm going to use this one. This one is going to go on the flap. Place it over the entire thing. Obviously you can use tape if you want to, but I'm just holding it just for now. And then we need to remove the hoop and trim the excess off from the top and the bottom underneath. So using your scissors again, remove all of the excess. side, and then you just need to remove it from the back as well. Try and cut it as close as you can. This bit doesn't matter as much, but try and cut it as close as you can to the edge. And then we're just going to do a satin edge finish, and that will be the flap done. First of all, it's going to do a foundation stitch of a zigzag, and then it will do the satin stitch.
Almost finished.
Once it's done the satin stitch, it will then do a stitch on the inside of the satin stitch, just to make it look nice. It's just a nice finish. And that is the flap finished. So now that I've got it all finished, just need to tie up, trim off the ends, the little knot that I can see there. There we go. And then pop it out. Because I'm using stabiliser, just a tearaway stabiliser, I'm going to have little, you can see, got little fluff on the end. So what I have been doing is I've been getting a lighter and very quickly just running the lighter over the edge to take away the bits of stabiliser that I can see. There's not a lot, but just be really quick because you don't want to burn your stitches. And that's it, they're all done, and all of the fluff has vanished. I don't know what Alexa's doing. A little bit there. That's it, done. Finished that bit. Right, so let's go on to the next bit. Get rid of all of these little bits and pieces. So now we are going to do the this part of the design, which is the front section. Should I call it the front section? Front panel. Right, so I'll put my stabiliser in my hoop. Just doing that over here. And let's find the next part, which is the pocket, the front panel. So first of all, we are just going to stitch out the placement. Like always do my placement first, so that you know exactly where to put your fabric. This piece of fabric is, it needs to be the width of your the section that you're doing. So it's just over 4 inches I've done, and it is just 8 inches, just shy of 8 inches. So that needs to, you need to place it at the bottom of the panel, this placement that you've just done, and let the rest of it hang over the hoop. And we're going to stitch that down, and it's also going to give me a placement, okay, for the extra, the other part, which is this part here. If you wanted to skip this step, you can, but I think it looks nicer with a stitched edge along the front of the purse. I've done one without it. It looks okay, but it's a bit bulky. So I thought if I put a stitched edge along there, that would look a lot better. And I think it does. I think it finishes it off a lot nicer. So now we've got the placement for the magnet, which we don't need to do yet. What we need to do is we need to get the craft knife and just cut over the top of this line, and we need to cut it the width of the piece of fabric underneath. So mine needs to be careful of your fingers. You're all adults, you all know how to use a knife, so just cut just above it, like so. And what you need to do is you need to poke this piece of vinyl or fabric or fur or whatever you're using. I wouldn't suggest using fur on the pocket on the front panel, and you poke it down like so. Now this panel here is actually larger than we need. It's going to come, when we stitch it onto the next part, it's going to stitch up to about here. So if the fabric that you've used doesn't reach down to the bottom, it doesn't matter, because on the next step it gets rid of this line. This is just bigger than we need. So what we need to do now is turn it round and tape it down. Blue Peter styly. Here's a piece that I had made earlier. I'm going to pull it down a little bit more because I don't want a great big fold over flap like that. And if you want to, if you don't like leaving your stabilizer like this, you can also add another piece of tape, and you can just pull this off afterwards. So this can go over the top of here like that. My tape's not very sticky today. Like so. I'm going to push it down on there. That should hold it better. Right, and it's just going to stitch this line. Then that part is also done. Now what we need to do is we need to add the other part, the other magnet closure, this part here, to this bit, and because we've got it showing, we can hide it in the next part. Bear with me, I'm just going to take all this tape off. Put that there. Might be able to use that again, and then I'm just going to remove it from the stabilizer. And then we're going to add this part here So we're just going to give ourselves, let me make sure that this is okay and lines up. So that's going to go over there, and that's going to go there like that, like so. So I think that's pretty good. Yep. Right, so I'm just going to cut a couple of holes, push it in so I can see it. And then cut a couple of holes using my craft knife. Hopefully you just saw that. I can't see what I'm doing, so hopefully you can. That's it, like that. And then I'm going to turn it over and add the back. Let's call this the washer, and add the washer and push both these bits out so that that's done. That's going to be the lining, and that's going to be the pocket, and this is, it matches up with that line and with that line, which is exactly what I wanted. Right, so now let's do the last part. Tidy them up. I don't need to tidy them up, but I'm going to anyway. So the last part is the back panel. So you're going to use the last piece of vinyl that you've cut, and also your lining fabric. Then the lining fabric will match up with the pocket there. Okay, let's get this done. My husband is waiting to carry on doing the building work, so he's stopped, he's halted so that I can make this for you. Right, let's go on the last one, which is this one. Do the placement. Right, so everything that's happening right now is going to be happening underneath the stabiliser, not on top of the stabiliser, because this is the back of the purse, and we're going to add the other two pieces to this. What I should really do is turn it over and place it over there and use tape. There we go. We'll use a little piece of tape. We'll be good. So then it's exactly where it needs to be. So you will see that this panel here is smaller than this panel here. Yes, it's meant to be like that. I didn't want these stitch lines to be shown. So first of all, it's going to give me a guide for this. We're going to be doing this now. And this, we're going to be using this. So this is 3/4 of an inch by about 3¼ inch. So this square here is 3/4 of an inch. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn it over, and we're going to cut a hole, a line across the top of this. I'll do it from here so that you can see it better. So you're going to take your knife and you're going to cut your hole. Mind your machine. Obviously, if you want to, you can use a cutting mat. I would recommend a cutting mat, to be honest. Right, so it's come through there. And what we're going to do is we are poking this through here. I'm going to go from this side because it's easier for me to see. Poke it through. Is it that way? Yeah. Right, so right, so on the other side I'm going to add a little bit of tape. Let's use a bit of that tape that I've already used. I'm going to put a bit of tape there. And on this side we're not going to put it right over this. We're going to give ourselves a little bit of a lip, like that, because that is where our split ring is going to go. Show you there. That's so you need to leave yourself quite a bit, but not too much because you don't want it to be catching on the satin stitch on the next part of the design. So yeah, so just add a little bit of tape. The tape will be in the way, it will get stitched, but it's okay to get down, to take off I mean. So you've got 2 bits of tape on the back and 1 bit on the front, and then it's going to stitch out the square one more time. So now you need to trim the excess off of around the square. It doesn't really matter on this part, but on the back it does. And it just caught it. Right, so we just need to remove that. And we can take that bit off as well now. So that is your square. I could probably trim a little tiny bit off of that, which I'm going to, just in case the satin stitch don't touch it. So let's get rid of that and trim that off. And I'll just trim that off there. And if I turn it over, I should be able to pull it out, and it's gone completely, which it has. See, it's gone. And then it's going to do the satin stitch around the box, and also then stitch this down because the backing is not even attached around the outline yet. Now you can see that you have the whatever this is called, the little thing for your split ring, and it is attached, it's stitched it together. You can take off these tails if you want, the little tie knots, which I'm going to do just to make it look tidier. Oh. There we go. Now we're going to add the flap to this here. So this is the flap that we've previously stitched, and this is the line, this line here, not the bottom line, the top line needs to sit over the top, this line here. So it needs to sit over it, and just keep checking to make sure that it is. Once you think it's in the right place, just lower your needle down, double check it again. You can put a little bit of tape over it, which I'm going to do for the sake of the video, just to make sure that it doesn't move, and then stitch it down. remove your tape. Then you're going to put your lining, the lining that you've already got pre-cut, and you're going to lay it over the line that you've just stitched, which is the top line up here. Okay, so you lay it over the top and lower your needle and stitch it down. What we need to do now is remove the hoop, turn it over and remove the excess from the back of this. So the back of the hoop. So we're going to turn it over, and it's this part here in particular that we need to make sure that we remove it from. So I'm just going to do all of it while I'm here. While I'm removing the top, I'll remove all of it because we don't need any of it. We go, and I'm also going to remove the little tied ends off as well. So just pop that back, and it's going to do a satin stitch over this line here, which is not going to be shown on the inside of the purse. It's not going to be shown, but it is going to be shown on the back of this. Just makes it look a bit smarter.
Then what we need to do is pull the lining down and stitch the lining down. It'll also give us markers for the pocket, the front panel. Then we'll just put a bit of tape on there for the sake of the video. Move my fingers out just in case I'm making a square. Just caught it.
I'm going to remove the excess lining once the machine is finished. Just saves me having to go through, cut through too many layers. My scissors are good, but they're not that good. Okay, just move all of these little bits. Including this bit out the top. So now you're going to add your previously stitched front panel, and you need to make sure that it's given you 2 guides, and I've also kept a thread so that it gives you even more of a something to measure up with. What we're going to do there, like that, just make sure that your pocket is in the right place. Not your pocket, the front panel is in the right place so that it matches up. It will, because I've made it match up. I'm going to put a bit of tape. I would use better tape, but I don't know where it is. So I'm just using a piece that I've already done. And what it's going to do is it's going to stitch the outline again. Okay, let's do it. And then we need to trim and remove all of that. So let's trim that off now. Take this tape off as well. Don't recommend using sellotape, it's a pain in the bum. Take off all of these bits, and then it's just going to do a satin stitch finish. Once it's finished doing the satin edge, it'll finish off with that bean stitch, just to match with the other part of the design that I've done, the flap. added an extra step now just to stop the machine going back into the middle of the hoop. So it'll just stop. You don't need to do anything with that last step. Step number 11. You don't need to do anything with that one. Right, so then all we need to do is pop it out of the hoop. And we've got a few little ends that we need to tidy up. Just cut them off first. Turn it over. Trim all of these off. Looks like a bit of bob in there. And that's your guide for the front panel. Take that off. And there should be one on the inside as well. Take that off. And then that should meet up with that, which it does, like so. We've just got some edges that we need to tidy up from the stabiliser, so I use my handy torch. Come on, that's it. Just, if you are going to do this, just make sure you don't hold the lighter on your stitches too long, and any bits that you can see, you can just melt them off around here. Melt them off, just makes a better finish. I'm going to run it along the top like that, there, and then all of the little bits and bobs are done. And all you need to do now is add your split ring. I think this is about a 21mm split ring, I think. Yeah, it is 21mm, so it's just under an inch, and then you just need to feed that through like that, like so, and then that is complete, finished.